Uhuru Kenyatta left office when the budget deficit of the Republic of Kenya to GDP was 8.1%. As we speak, we are reducing it to 4.3%. And next year, it will be 3.8%. By the time we will go to election, the budget deficit must be below 3%. When I took over, the shilling was volatile, was exchanging at a very high rate. There was a time early this year when the shilling was trading at 160 per dollar. Today, the shilling is trading at 129 shillings per dollar. When I took over, the government of Kenya was borrowing at 15.5%. When Ruto took over, we were borrowing at 17%. When I took over CS, under the leadership of Ruto, we were borrowing at 15.5%. Today, we are borrowing at 11%. Our reserves have reached over 9 trillion, over $9 billion, a record. A record never witnessed in this country. Our inflation is at 2.8%, another record. We are paying salary of public servants by fifth. I said I don't want public servants to be paid around 18th of the month, the new month. Or at worst, should be the 5th of the new month. We are respecting that. As we speak today, all counties, I have given them money up to November. There is no arrears for counties. We released the last one yesterday, 32.9 billion. CDF, I promised Martin that I will give them 5 billion. I gave them 7. 2 more. We are working with the president to make sure that this economy works. We are working with the cabinet to make sure that this economy works. We are hard working, we are determined, things will get better. Just give us opportunity. I am not here to lie to Kenyans. Things are not perfect, but they are getting better. I know the middle class have issues with their pay slips. The taxation. We want to streamline Kenya Revenue Authority for 1 year. Then we will start lowering pay as you earn, so that the middle class can have the capacity and the ability to buy goods and services to spur economic growth.
I am aware of that bill by the ministry. That is actually State Department for Roads. If you go to our records in Parliament, Public Accounts Committee had requested the Ministry of Roads to provide information on pending bills, analyzed, categorized in terms of principal sum, interest and penalties. And we have that information in Parliament. I'm sure my colleagues will submit a report to the effect. We actually were recommending that the government negotiates with these contractors on the interest and penalties. But that you can only do if you show willingness and you show intention to pay. So I will work with the Cabinet Secretary for Roads and Infrastructure to make sure that we clearly demonstrate an intention to settle these bills. Road construction has stalled across the country as a result of this. And I will tell you, my constituency, where I come from, is one of them, as one project which has just stalled because of this. So we need to do this across the country so that the road construction resumes. Because we have already invested money in these roads. We can't continue keeping them. But we have constraints. Look at the budget of roads, Minister. In fact, I was saying that that budget, at the rate of 50 billion, the pending bills alone, you may require not less than 3-4 years. But then if you have to finance all committed...
Churchill told us committed road projects.
That's actually where I was heading.
Are 1 trillion.
Yes. If you have to commit to, for all commitments, you need 20 years. Committed roads, that is roads that have been started, their value, if you sum all of them, across the country. So it's terrible. There are some initiatives which I think we should promote, where we get some of this road infrastructure done through PPPs. But there is also an initiative to negotiate, if the terms would be favorable, with some of the contractors that are coming from specific countries to take up this if it is within our budget ceiling, loan ceiling or debt ceiling, to take them up. Like the Chinese government has so many contractors around here who are doing roads using GOK funds. Currently, there are very few road projects done by loans from China. They are all working on roads funded by GOK funds. So we need to explore that. Finally, on procurement without budget, Mr. Speaker, this is again another problem. And the problem is not entirely that there is no budget. The budget is not there, but there is no money. The exchequer releases come late. Why? Because we are not able to collect. We don't have money. So we must just cut our clothes according to our sizes. That is the starting point. The planning we must have, and someone asked about the planning in one single portal. There is a disconnect between planning and budgeting. We need to synchronize. And this is the same ministry. We must ensure that we link planning to budgeting, to cash management, so that we don't commit ourselves into purchasing or contracting when we don't have the capacity to pay.
We have grossly overshot the time. There are some people watching from US who have sent these two questions. What is your view on the potential of blockchain technology within the financial sector, particularly in light of the blockchain technology report to 2020? Would you support the adoption of this technology? The next one, in light of the increasing global uncertainties and economic volatility, gold reserves have become more crucial in safeguarding national wealth and ensuring economic stability. Elaborate on how you would propose leveraging gold reserves as a reliable store of value in the current and future economic landscape. Additionally, would you explain any strategic measures that can be considered to enhance the role of gold in Kenya's financial system? Take at maximum 2 minutes. These are Kenyans watching these proceedings from the US. Pardon?
The first one of the blockchain, Mr. Speaker, I must admit that I need to understand it better. And
that is an honest answer. We understand.
We need to get what it is. If it is something that
don't
can
also
help
know it.
the country,
I also don't know it.
The better. On leveraging on gold reserves.
We'll need somebody to teach us about it.
Do we have an ICT person around? But don't you worry, Mr. Speaker. Now that has been brought.
There's a nexus between finance and ICT.
We will.
CBK, maybe when you get, if you get approved, CBK should be able to sort you.
Yes. Okay.
That's why I was saying that don't you worry, I will get...
On the gold reserves, just say yes or no.
Yeah, gold reserves, that actually we need as a country to move towards even establishing sovereign wealth funds, and gold reserves can help us in that. Yes. And those are areas, those are emerging areas that we need to look at. Thank you.
Thank you. Lastly, John Mbadi, as a nominee.